Do you want to live a beautiful life that reflects the truth of who you are? Be bold and courageous as you step into your heartfelt desires. How does trusting yourself fully and connecting with your soul's purpose sound? The Unplanned Mom podcast is a potent mix of real life stories, practical spiritual teachings, and a community to help guide you for eternity. This is the place for inspiration with down-to-earth tools to help you pivot and continue to live your best life beyond your wildest dreams. Here we honor your deepest, authentic truth, embrace motherhood, talk all things money, mindset, and most importantly, miracles. So are you ready to say yes to all of this? If so, then let's dive in. I'm your host, Ashley Bush, and I have been praying for you, and I cannot wait to get to know you better. Let's go. All right, welcome. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad you are here and that you've stopped by the Unplanned Mom podcast. I'm guessing that the chances are pretty great that you may have been searching or stumbling, trying to find someone, some other people that have been right exactly where you are right now in this unplanned situation, pregnancy that you are dealing with. You're likely super ambitious, very goal driven, and just trying to wrap your brain around everything and how the heck you're going to make this all work. So, first of all, since we haven't officially met, I am just already super thankful that we've crossed paths and that you are here. I am Ashley. I've been exactly right where you are. And as we get to know one another, you're going to learn more about my story, my journey, where I've been, where I'm going, and just super excited. So what exactly is the Unplanned Mom School? Well, the Unplanned Mom School was really a dream and a vision that I had many, many years ago because, as I said, I faced an unplanned pregnancy at the age of 21. And at that time, this was, Christmas time, 2005. It was early 2006 that I found out that I was pregnant. And, there weren't any resources like this. Let's face it. I mean, Facebook was just starting. And back then, Facebook, you had to have a school email address to be able to even have an account. So, yes, that kind of dates me. It tells you a little bit about how old I am. But, the one thing that I wanted, because I was in college, I was the first person in my family to go to school. And at that time, that was my big goal, my big dream. And, my milestone that I knew that I wanted to overcome, if you will. So finding out that I was pregnant and, not in the best relationship, I started to really just kind of question things. So there was a lot of stuff leading up to that moment for myself. I just remember feeling very like something was just kind of off in my life. I grew up in a Catholic family, very big Catholic family. Consider myself Christian all my life. And in fact, at that time, I had a very dear friend, and, she and I would go to church with her. So it was kind of like I had one foot in this college life and partying, and then had this other foot where I knew that God really had bigger plans for me, and I just really couldn't find the balance and fit those two things together. So, really years later and kind of doing deep dives and things and looking into how, alcoholism played a role in my upbringing and just characteristics, thought patterns, boundaries, all of that stuff kind of really played into it. So kind of going full circle at that time, I did have to tap into and use free resources. So I love pregnancy centers. Everybody that works there has got a heart of gold. There is a lot of great things that are out there to help financially and with supplies and just the emotional support. What I found, though, that was lacking in my perspective was that there wasn't a place that gave me an area where I was around people that wanted more like I did for my life, but had been in a similar situation. So, starting all of this years ago, I wrote a book. I had a blog, and, I had gotten remarried. Life was just kind of putzing along, and I was feeling pretty good about things. And I had a couple miscarriages. So those were my planned babies. I like to say those planned babies, they're up in heaven and they're looking out and they're watching over my family, my husband, and my three daughters now. But those losses really shook me because I had my oldest, I had Anna, and life was, it all worked out. And so this is really kind of how the Unplanned Mom School was born, because I've this yearning and this desire to help women that are in the exact same boat that I was in. And even years later, as a woman in her 30s, going through pregnancy again and essentially starting all over has been a journey. So I love to say that all three of my babies that are here on earth with me were all unplanned. And every story, every obstacle, everything that I have gone through throughout the pregnancy itself has just been enlightening and joyful, full of scary times with high risk pregnancy, and then being unwed and pregnant. So I've really have experienced a lot of different things, and I've met so many amazing women along my path and my journey as well. And so again, the Unplanned Mom School is really just a rebirth of what I wish that I would have had when I was younger. And then even, now in my 30s, just kind of starting over and trying to finesse and working, a husband now, a home, all of these things while you are navigating, preparing for a new life in your family. So I'm just so excited that you're here, and just welcome to our first episode, and just kind of an entry point to what the Unplanned Mom School is about and what we are here for. So it's really encouragement and support, of course, and just moving through that unplanned pregnancy. So my thing has always been, for many years, is that you have got this all-knowing innate intuition that is already born. It's inside of all of us. I believe when we come into this world, our life experiences definitely shape us, mold us. They just impact us in how we make decisions and how we move forward. And for me personally, and this you may feel the exact same way, but pregnancy is really a key to figuring out precisely who you are. Even though right now this timing it's not ideal. No, it never is. I mean, when anything good, really good or really bad happens in our life, we kind of tend to put them on scales, really good, really bad, and we kind of weigh it and kind of go from there. But when things appear to be bad, I have found throughout my lifetime, and the many people that I have spoken to, that these times are really challenged in the world and the universe or by God, we have a choice. We have a decision to really stop dead in our tracks, because we really have nowhere else to go other than looking internally and into the inside of ourselves. So inside the Unplanned Mom School, I mean, we really work on breathing life into your finances. Again, tapping into that internal power that God has given you, that love, that you are born with so much love that you are ready to give and to receive. And as I said, life happens and changes us, and experiences and opportunities, struggles, disappointments, all of these things shape and mold us. But still, at the end of the day, we have that intuition and we have that love that is inside of us. And then ultimately, that love that is instilled in us is there to protect our unborn child. And we are going to do everything in our power to give the absolute best to our child. So, I hope that that's inspiring. So you might be feeling a little bit fearful, perhaps unsure, again, really about what your future holds. And, I believe you're here and you're listening because you too are looking to surround yourself with other people that wanted more out of their life, even though they faced an unplanned pregnancy. They know that this pregnancy is not a deterrent to a life not well lived. In fact, it's really going to be the key to unlocking a life well lived and well deserved, as the way that God intended for you to live, and also for your child. So You do deserve the utmost happiness, and you do deserve a fulfilling life, a life full of abundance, and, tapping in and really leaning into your dreams still. Your dreams do not die. They just blossom, they grow, we change, and everything that you're going to be learning and feeling and experiencing throughout this journey of pregnancy and motherhood is everything that's going to shape you and transform you into ultimately the person that you're going to be up until you're on your deathbed. If we're lucky enough to live and be old women and see our families grow and get to know our friends and family and deepen our relationship with God, we get to be at the other end and look back on our lives and not be filled with any shame or regret. And I have met many women that have made decisions that they live with and have regret and shame, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. God is so forgiving, and it's beautiful what he can do and how he can restore us. It's when we continually keep walking down those paths and making choices when we know better. We know better, we do better. So, if you have experienced some sort of loss, such as an abortion, and you are struggling with that, I know there's a ton of resources out there. And I cannot stress that enough, to really just get yourself in and surrounded by women that have gone through very similar things as you, and getting in touch with a life team or a life affirming group through a church. It might sound really uncomfortable and awkward, and you don't think that people at a church are going to understand you and you're going to be judged. It's really just the opposite. I witness it time and time again, and I see God's love and mercy and forgiveness. I see it through my church, and I'm going to share the link to my church because my pastor has all of his sermons online, and they're recorded on YouTube, and a lot of really good topics, because he's very transparent in his life and how things have affected him and changed him. And since I've started going there, it's really fine-tune my relationship with God, and it's led me to this position right now to where I'm like, this is it's kind of do or die for me. I'm kind of going through all this again, and I'm going to make it work. So I'm right there alongside with you. I'm walking with you. I want to share what I'm going through and just let you know that really you are not alone. You are not alone. You are going to get through this. I want you to rub that belly and tell your baby, you two are going to get through this. You are fine. You are loved. That is your child, no matter what has happened or how you came into the situation, that God has a plan for both you and your baby. He has this story written. He knows exactly what's going to happen, and we never were told that it's going to be easy. We never said we're going to get through this world without any suffering or pain. And so you will persevere, you will get through this, and just really know that you are not alone. I think that's the biggest thing I really, really want to stress, is that you're not alone, because I remember feeling alone at times, and because I was the first one in my immediate family to go to school, some people, I think they were very supportive, but they didn't really quite understand why or where I had that drive come from. Now, 15 years later, would I tell somebody to go and finish school? That's a whole other topic. But because at that time, I lived like a lot of people. I was taking out credit cards and, living well beyond my means, and had to take out student loans. So you live and learn, right? So if you're in that boat and you're thinking you need to be taking out loans, stay tuned, because we do talk all things money, mindset, miracles. But the money part, we don't want to go in debt for anything. So where there's a will, there's a way. And facing an unplanned pregnancy like I did at age 21, it changed me. And now here I am, 37 years old. And I can tell you that my kids, my oldest, absolutely, hands down, has been the greatest blessing in my entire life. Has it been easy? No. But the moment I met her, the moment I really welcomed her when she was in my womb, I didn't know if she was a boy or a girl at the time. My life was changed. I mean, my life was totally changed when I saw those two blue lines. There were times though during that very first pregnancy that I wished, well, maybe this shouldn't be happening. Maybe I will have a miscarriage. Wouldn't I be so lucky if I had a miscarriage? Because, I hate even saying that out loud right now, but those were some of the thoughts that I had because I was so afraid. I was so scared of what could happen, what was going. I was just afraid. I was afraid of the unknowns. I did not know how life would turn out. But I will tell you, I was blessed with some really incredible job opportunities, and God opened doors for me with jobs and then employers that were phenomenal. I know I am blessed in that sense that I had people put on my path, and then it really taught me from there. And this is what I would like to stress to you is that it taught me to follow my intuition. So what I mean by that is when I was, actively seeking for employment, it was listening to what my body was saying. And there's been times, man, throughout all these years where I've been tested and have stayed in positions where they weren't necessarily the best fit for me, but it was a good fit for me and my family, or so I thought. But this is all stuff that we will be unpacking here on the Unplanned Mom podcast. But listen again, I go back to that intuition, because we as females, we are born, and I do believe that we just have a stronger sense of a natural ability to use our intuition and to really guide us and steer us into making decisions that will serve us best. So listen to your body when you are interviewing and when you're trying to figure things out. We don't have to know the answers. We oftentimes don't know the answers. I mean, we don't. In all honesty, we don't. I even saying this, hello, we don't. We don't know the answers. So be patient. Give yourself grace, and again, just trust your intuition. So just real quickly, kind of wrapping up just a little bit more about me. So as I mentioned, maybe at the top of this, I was affected greatly by the disease of alcoholism. As I said too, I longed for purpose and meaning in my life, and I did not know how to give that to myself. So, kind of going back to my early 20s and before I found out that I was pregnant, I was drinking way too much, and I put up with unhealthy behaviors. I just really, I did not know how much the disease had impacted me and my ability to be in a loving relationship. Now, I would never change my situation. I would never, I tell my daughter this all the time. You're meant to be here, but your dad and I were not meant to be together. And throughout these years, I've learned to love myself. Still, sometimes it can be a struggle by the hour or the minute. Sometimes it can take me a little bit longer to kind of get through it, but it's been through years of practice and, working with people, being involved in just different programs and counseling to really help me to learn how, my past affected me, how it impacted my decisions. I did a lot of things out of just feeling like I should. I was in a really, really unhealthy relationship before I got pregnant. And so this guy, the new guy, and who is my daughter's father, really fit the boxes. He was somebody I could bring home because somebody before that I could not bring home. And when I'm ready, I'm going to share more about that, because that's one area of my life I've just have worked through tremendously. I know I experienced PTSD. And for many years, I didn't realize how much it was blocking me just until this past about a year or so ago. I worked with a phenomenal counselor and did lots of training and therapy with her, and have walked through it. And I can even just sit here and say this without my heart wanting to pump out of my chest, my face turning all red, anxiety just filling my whole body. I can say that I was in a really unhealthy relationship and I was taken advantage of, and I can say that and know that he was in the wrong and I wasn't in the wrong. So again, everything that we go through shapes us, molds us, brings us to who we are today. And so I encourage you, no matter where you are at right now, today, in your life, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. And how beautiful is that? I mean, it doesn't matter if if something's, not going as planned. And this is what you're going to learn throughout this journey is you're going to learn to go with the flow. Because you have to, especially when you're pregnant, you have to go through the motions. You have to go with the flow. Sometimes you got to buckle down. You got to get business done. You still have to work on, things that really matter, short-term goals and your big-term goals. And that's, kind of, again, full circle. That's really what the Unplanned Mom School is all about. It's, we all have different stories and scenarios, and I'll be bringing on different guests in the future and interviewing different people that have much different stories than I do, but have overcome. They have survived, they have forgiven themselves for their abortions. They've had children in their life. They have found refuge and peace in knowing that there's a higher power that loves them and is always going to be there for them. They've walked through that shame and have forgiven themselves. And I think we all can relate to that in some shape or form, just in the sense that, we all have different things going on in our lives. I think even if you grew up in the, quote unquote, best of best homes, there's things going on. Maybe it's mental illness. Maybe it's addiction to pills, alcohol, drugs, workaholism, parents being gone, marital issues. I mean, whatever it can be, all of these things are, they're shaping us and molding us. And we live and learn. So we live and learn. And my mission is to really just share what I know with you. I'm not anybody special. I am just somebody that's, maybe a little bit wiser in the sense that I've gone through it. I've gone through a lot of different things. And, at the end of the day, I view myself as almost like your big sister. I want to be seen as your big sister. Maybe I'm your little sister, depending on how old you are. Maybe you view me as a friend, just someone to confide in, or, someone to share your experiences with, share your experience, strength, and hope. And, really just knowing that you are not alone and you have somebody here on the other end that's super excited for you, even though you might not be able to feel excited for yourself right now. It's okay. But we on this end are super excited for you and your unexpected blessing. So if anything, as we get to know one another and if you download and you follow along with the podcast, I want you to walk away just feeling taller. I want you to feel confident, and telling people that you are pregnant and to really own it and to enjoy it, because I did own it, I feel like, for the most part, but there were definitely periods, especially after I was married and had kids, I realized I didn't let myself enjoy, the shower or different things. I didn't enjoy it to its fullest potential because I wasn't married, or because, I didn't have my degree, or because I had to change my plans. All of these different things were just excuses to really stop me in taking away that moment of the joy and not letting me feel the joy. So I want you to feel the joy. I want you to feel okay with being pregnant and to feel like there are tools and there are people and there are jobs out there. There are ways to make money to set you up for success. It might not look right now how you had originally planned, but there is a plan and there is a way to make a living, put food on the table, take care of yourself, take care of your baby, and, all of those things. And it's not selfish for wanting to care for yourself. And in fact, it's the most beautiful thing that you can do for your child is to take care of yourself and to love yourself and practice self-care and do the things that you need to do to make yourself whole again so that you can move forward and be set up for success. And so the next time something unexpected comes along in your life, you're ready. You know that you will get through it. And I think at 37 years old, that's what I can tell you, that no matter what life throws your way, You're going to get through it. So this space is just all about bringing us together. I love to hear from listeners, viewers. We're on all the social, hitting it up on TikTok and sharing some fun things over there. We've got our website that's all up and launched, and doors will be opening officially to the Unplanned Mom School here in August. So, just plug into the website if you want to kind of be caught up and see the latest offerings and what's going on over there. And if you just want just some fun inspiration, come on over, get signed up on the newsletter. So unplannedmomschool.com. Again, that's unplannedmomschool.com. So again, we're coming together. We're going to get through this. We are going to feel empowered together, and we're going to, all of us, we're going to tap into our intuition. We're going to know that God has given us everything that we need. And, if anything, the people that we meet here in the Unplanned Mom School, different people that comment on things or join us in some private closed door sessions to just kind of work through some stuff. And again, be in community and know that we're not alone. You are not alone, and there is a way. Your path is lit, and now it's time to go along, find those candles, find where those light spots are in your life, and move towards the light and the goodness, and look for the good, and just really be grateful for where you are at. So what burning questions do you have? I am going to be taking questions. Eventually, I see this podcast being on a live schedule, almost like a radio schedule, and being able to take questions during the week on live calls. But until then, I would love for you to email me, send me a DM. Everything can be anonymous. I would love to answer any questions that come our way. Address them on TikTok as well. It's just I didn't think I'd be having this much fun over there, but I'm starting to have some fun. So, send questions. I really want to hear from you. I want this space and I want this podcast to be the light for you throughout your pregnancy, so that you don't feel alone and that you feel inspired and feel encouraged and uplifted, and know that, God's got your back, and everybody here on earth is ultimately rooting for you too. So I know that I am, and I just hope that you feel that and know that love. So send over your questions. hello@unplannedmomschool.com. You can shoot me an email. hello@unplannedmomschool.com. Would absolutely love to hear any questions that you have. And lastly, I'm just going to close off, by saying I'm not a licensed professional. It's really just my own opinion. I feel really led to be here and to share stories and bring in guest experts and guests that have walked through, different aspects of an unplanned pregnancy and how they navigated it, and really just in hopes of sharing and showing you that you are not alone. So consider me your new friend, and I'm rooting for you. I believe in you. I'm loving you when you might not feel like doing those things for yourself, but I am here for you. So with all that, I will talk soon. Okay, my sweet mamas, if you're tuning in and have got a friend's name that just keeps bubbling up at the top of your head as you've been listening to this episode, go ahead. I want you to grab that link, copy and paste it, and shoot them a quick text and just tell them that you were thinking of them. After all, we're all here to help each other. And if this episode resonated with you, there's a pretty good chance that something in it will resonate with them as well. This show is for you, so do me a solid. Go ahead, share it with that one person that comes to mind so we can spread the love to all of our sisters. And if you really, really loved it, it would mean the world to me if you would leave a review. All right, thank you, my sweet friends. Thanks so much for tuning in. I will see you all next week. And if you need any more inspiration between now and then, come on over and check us out on TikTok. See you soon.